Why does walking away make you unforgettable? Why do women think more about the man who leaves than the man who chases? And why is the ability to walk away one of the greatest powers you can have in love? At first glance, walking away looks like weakness. People assume it means giving up. But in reality, when done from strength, it is the opposite. It is one of the clearest signals of self-respect a man can ever give. A man who can walk away says without words, "I value myself too much to beg. I trust myself enough to step back. I know my worth, even in silence." Women notice this immediately, even if they don't admit it. The moment you don't chase, the moment you don't fold into endless negotiations or apologies, something shifts in her mind. She starts asking herself questions. Why isn't he running after me? Why is he calm when I expected panic? What does he know about himself that makes him so steady? Those questions grow louder the longer you remain composed. The Stoics would call this self-mastery. Epictetus reminded us, no man is free who is not master of himself. Walking away is not about punishing her, it's about freeing yourself. You are no longer ruled by the pull of constant approval. You are guided by your values, composure, dignity, and presence. In this video, we'll explore the 5 stages she often goes through when you walk away. A journey that begins with shock, moves through doubt and reflection, and can end with renewed desire and deeper respect. But more than that, you'll also discover the lesson hidden behind this pattern. Why walking away is not just a strategy in love, but a life skill every man and every woman can learn from. By the end, you'll see that walking away, when done with calm, stoic strength, is less about losing someone and more about never losing yourself. So let's begin with the first stage, shock. Stage 1, shock and denial. The very first reaction when you walk away is almost always shock. She didn't expect it. She expected pursuit. She expected you to argue, to plead, to negotiate. Instead, what she gets is silence, and that silence can be louder than any words. In the first 24 to 48 hours, she may try to brush it off. She tells herself, he's probably just busy, or he'll come back, he always does. This is denial, a defense mechanism that keeps her world from feeling like it has suddenly cracked. But beneath the denial is a flicker of surprise. What if he really doesn't come back this time? This is where your composure matters most. If you rush back in to explain yourself, if you send long emotional texts, you erase the very shock that makes her pause. The Stoics would remind us here of the dichotomy of control. What she feels in that moment is not yours to control. What you can control is your own response. Calm, steady, deliberate. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." By holding your silence, by resisting the urge to chase, you prove to yourself and to her that your strength is inward. You are not ruled by fear of loss. Practical advice. During this stage, keep your life visibly moving forward. Go to the gym, meet friends, invest in your work. If she reaches out, keep responses short, clear, and calm. "I need space to think. I'll get back to you." That single line carries more weight than 100 lines of pleading. Shock and denial mark the breaking of assumptions. And once those assumptions are broken, something deeper begins to stir. The second stage, self-doubt. Stage 2, self-doubt. After the initial shock begins to settle, a deeper and more unsettling feeling emerges, self-doubt. She starts replaying past conversations, second-guessing her tone, her choices, her attitude. Did I push him away? Did I undervalue him? Was I too quick to assume he would always be there? These questions begin to swirl, and unlike the first denial, this stage touches her identity. This is the point where walking away begins to shift the balance. What was once certainty that you would always pursue, always explain, always chase, has now become fragile. She wonders if she misjudged the story, if she was too confident in the outcome. That quiet uncertainty can be far more powerful than words, because it lives inside her mind, echoing over and over again. For men, this is where Stoic wisdom becomes essential. The Stoics taught that our value does not come from how others perceive us, but from how we live in alignment with our principles. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." In this stage, while she is questioning her own behavior, your task is not to rush in with explanations or reassurance. Your task is to remain grounded, to keep your thoughts steady and aligned with your values. This moment isn't about punishing her. It's about proving to yourself that your worth does not rise or fall with her doubts. By holding steady, you let her face her own reflection. And once self-doubt takes root, the next step is inevitable. She begins to rationalize. Stage 3. Rationalization. Once self-doubt has taken hold, the mind looks for relief. No one enjoys uncertainty, so the next stage is rationalization. She begins to create explanations to protect her ego and to make sense of your absence. She might tell herself, "He's just trying to play games," or "He must not care as much as I thought." She may even convince her friends that walking away was your weakness, not your strength. On the surface, this looks like indifference. But beneath it, rationalization is proof that the questions from stage 2 are still alive. So alive, in fact, that she needs stories to cover them. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance, the discomfort of holding two conflicting ideas at once. She wants to believe she had full control, but reality is showing her that she may not. The stories she tells herself are attempts to reduce that discomfort. This is where Stoic philosophy offers a powerful reminder, not for her, but for you. Epictetus taught, "If someone speaks badly of you, do not defend yourself against his opinions. Respond instead, 'He was not aware of my other faults, or he would not have mentioned only these.'" In other words, let people rationalize. Let them tell stories. Their explanations do not define your reality. For men, this stage is dangerous only if you get pulled back in. If you break your composure because you feel misunderstood, you undo the strength you've shown. But if you remain calm, steady, and focused on your path, her rationalizations eventually exhaust themselves. Because stories without proof collapse. And when they collapse, something else rises in their place. She attempts to replace you. That leads directly into the next stage, the rebound. Stage 4, the rebound. When rationalizations no longer satisfy her, the next move often feels almost automatic, the rebound. She seeks to fill the empty space you left by turning to someone else, whether it's an old flame, a casual fling, or a quick distraction. On the surface, it looks like she has moved on. To the outside world, she may even appear happier, more social, more free. But here's the truth. Rebounds are rarely about genuine connection. They are about noise. They're a way to drown out the silence you left behind. By stepping into another interaction quickly, she avoids confronting the real question. Why does his absence affect me so deeply? For many men, this stage is the hardest to witness. You may feel jealousy rising. You may feel tempted to rush back in, to reclaim your place, to compete for attention. But this is precisely where Stoic wisdom becomes crucial. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Her rebound is an outside event. It is not yours to control. Your control lies in your response, whether you stay composed or whether you collapse. Think of it like watching a storm pass. The thunder may be loud, the rain intense, but storms by their nature burn themselves out. The rebound is the same. It burns quickly because it's built on reaction, not reflection. And here's the paradox. The more calmly you hold your ground during this stage, the faster she realizes that her distraction does not erase you. Because once the noise fades, something deeper returns. Reflection. Stage 5. Reflection and respect. Once the noise of the rebound quiets down, she is left with something far more powerful. Reflection. In the stillness that follows, her mind turns back, not to the distraction, but to you. This is when she begins to truly measure your absence against the presence of others. She recalls how steady you were, how you didn't beg or plead, how you carried yourself with composure. And in that comparison, respect begins to take root. What at first felt like loss now feels like gravity, an invisible pull that lingers because it cannot be forced away. Reflection is where attraction deepens into something more meaningful. Why? Because respect is the foundation of lasting desire. Chemistry may spark quickly, but it's respect that keeps the flame alive. And when she sees that you did not collapse, that you valued yourself enough to walk away, she begins to admire what before she may have overlooked. The Stoics remind us that virtue shines brightest in adversity. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." By refusing to waste yourself in begging or clinging, you showed her the rarest quality of all, discipline. You proved that your time, your energy, and your presence are valuable, not commodities to be spent carelessly. For men, this stage carries a clear lesson. Walking away is not about whether she comes back, it's about whether you remain true to yourself. And for women, if they reflect honestly, it reveals a deeper truth. Attraction to strength is not about arrogance, but about steadiness. Reflection breeds respect, and respect, once earned, is not easily forgotten. Which brings us to the final part of our journey, tying together all these stages and uncovering the lesson for both men and women. Final thoughts: why walking away matters. So what do we learn from these 5 stages? Shock, self-doubt, rationalization, rebound, reflection. They are not just steps in her psychology. They are reminders of a deeper truth. Respect is not given freely. It is earned. And one of the clearest ways a man earns respect is by showing he can stand firm, even when it would be easier to fold. For men, the lesson is simple but not easy. Walking away is not about manipulation. It is about self-respect. It is about proving to yourself that you will never trade your values for temporary comfort. The moment you can walk away with composure, you show mastery, not over her, but over yourself. That mastery is what Stoicism has always pointed to: freedom through discipline, dignity through restraint. For women, the lesson is different, but just as valuable. Attraction to a man's steadiness is not weakness, it is recognition. Because deep down, everyone longs for someone who will not collapse under pressure, who will not beg for approval, who will not vanish into insecurity. Respect is magnetic, and it is built in silence as much as in words. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Walking away with dignity is one way to live that out. It is not about arguments, not about proving who is right. It is about becoming the kind of person whose presence, and even whose absence, leaves a mark. So let me ask you, have you ever gained more respect for someone because they walked away with calm strength? And if you're honest, have you ever been haunted by the absence of someone who refused to beg for your attention? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Thank you for watching Stoic Wisdom today. If today's message resonated with you, join us here at Stoic Wisdom Today. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and keep exploring how ancient philosophy meets modern love. Because in the end, self-mastery is rare, and rare is unforgettable. Until next time, stay calm, stay grounded, stay stoic.